funeral services are being planned for Gene Roddenberry, creator of the Star Trek TV and movie series. He died yesterday in Santa Monica, California, of a heart attack.
Gene Roddenberry embarked on the ultimate trip to the final.
In this era, his name was one of the very few TV show creators many people could name, in addition to perhaps Aaron Spelling, Glenn Larson, and Stephen Cannell. But Roddenberry's name was one that came along with a legend. By now, we've come to realize that the Star Trek we came to know and love was not really the creation of a single individual, but a result of efforts and creative input of Gene Kuhn, Bob Justman, Matt Jeffries, and others, in addition to Roddenberry's, and that many of Roddenberry's accounts he began repeating at conventions which became Star Trek production lore, were a somewhat fictionalized narrative of events that tended to enhance or sweeten his contributions and ideas and dramatize his interactions and conflicts with the TV networks. Accounts which became a Star Trek mythology, endlessly repeated over the decades. But to misquote Shakespeare and Shatner, I podcast not to condemn Roddenberry, nor to praise him, but to relate information on his lesser-known 1970s TV efforts. So, in this episode of Forgotten TV, we'll take a look at the 1973 TV movie Genesis 2 in this first installment of a PAX Trilogy retrospective. To do that, let's get a little more background on the man himself. It's the incredible story of Gene Roddenberry's 1970s attempted series, starting with his first TV movie, Genesis 2, coming soon to this podcast feed. You can now support Forgotten TV on Patreon with as little as $1 a month and help produce this podcast. A link to this is in the show notes or visit forgotten.tv. Subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, or your podcast app of choice.